So I've always kind of found it quite interesting how people say that they can't do something or that they won't do something because they know they can't do it. And I don't know if it's just my point of view, but from where I sit, anybody is capable of doing anything. And there are many different people that you can look to who have done specific things in time, or whether it be in time or I don't know whatever I'm talking about. But you're always capable of doing anything that you set your mind to. I can't ever stand to see people say, "Oh, I can't do this because of this," or "I can't do it because of that." And sorry, my phone just went off. Um, but it just, I don't know. Today I've been thinking about, for some reason, when my grandmother passed away at her funeral, my stepfather said something, which is, there was something to the tone of everything that you go through in life, you go through it alone. You can experience it you can experience something with somebody, but they won't experience the same exact thing you've experienced. Like, let's say you hurt yourself, right? You can be with somebody when you hurt yourself, but they're not feeling the same pain you feel. So, at the end of the day, you're alone. Not trying to say that in like a depressing manner or anything, but you need to be the one that can tell yourself, like, I can get through this, I'll be okay. People can say that to you, but what does it mean if you don't believe them? Nothing. So you have to believe yourself, and you have to be confident that you're telling yourself the truth. So, like, again, just an example, I hurt my knee on my birthday. While my friends were there to help me out, they're not experiencing the same pain that I'm experiencing, so I'm going through that alone. But I know myself, after experiencing this pain before, that I can get through it. I know that I'll be fine. So it's just something you have to tell yourself. And it's just, I don't know, I just can't stand it when people, they just say, "Oh, I can't do this for this reason." It really bothers me, because it's not that you can't do it. It's just that, I'm not trying to say, anything bad about anybody, but it's just that you're probably not putting your mind to it enough, or you're not committing yourself enough to it to be able to do that. Because anybody can do anything. Look at Steve Jobs. Supposedly he was a high school dropout, and he created all of Apple, and look at that. He put his mind to something that he really wanted, and when you put your mind to something, you excel at whatever it is you put your mind to. If you're really into something, and you can do it, you're confident that you have the skills, you can do it. I don't understand why people, they doubt themselves, or they say to themselves, "I can't do this." It's just a matter of how much heart you have. I've been, and I guess on a funny side note, I've been using that heart terminology to explain when we were going for the buried Easter egg with Evan, Sean, and like the gang or whatever. And I always told Evan and Sean when they got tired that they didn't have any heart. And well, they have enough heart in different aspects. But at that particular point in time, I was just messing with them, saying that they didn't have heart. But I don't know. I've always tried to, excuse me, I've always tried to be that way. I always tried to believe in myself and believe that I can do anything despite what people say. And that doesn't mean that I don't get put down myself. I definitely get put down by a lot of things and by a lot of people. But, I like to tell myself that whatever they have to say isn't as important as what I have to say. Because, again, as I said before, whatever I'm going through it. Nobody else but me is going through it. Even when something affects multiple people, you still have your own experience of what it is you're going through, and that is different than what someone else has. So, at the end of the day, you just have to be able to tell yourself, like, I can pull myself through this. I can do it. And sorry if I'm being like a little bit emotional, but this is just something that was on my mind today. I don't know why exactly it was on my mind, but it was those were like just my uncle's favorite words when we were at my grandmother's funeral. So I just figured that I would explain that to you guys. I hope I did a good job of it, because I don't know, I'm not really a motivational speaker type person. That doesn't mean I don't mind trying to be motivational. I know different people are motivated by different things. I just happen to think I'm not the best person for the job, I guess. But yeah, this was a pretty good gameplay, I guess. This was a part of the. Ooh, look at that super right there, and look at I got fucked up. Ah, sucks. Yeah, this is another couple of gameplays that I got. I don't know why. I feel that when I play this game, if I take like these really long breaks and then just play it when I need to get gameplay, I do fine. I do like amazing, like great games like this one, 25 and 7. I have like a 25 and 2 game. I have a really good batch of recordings. I'm also sorry I haven't been recording. I've been just a little busy doing a couple of things, guys, and I hope you can appreciate that. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary and have a nice day. And also remember to believe in yourself because you have you, and that's all you have. All right. Peace, guys.